Parker.
J Squad.
Parker. Parker.
The Force will be with you, always.
Hey man, y'all sure y'all don't want to like burn one first, man?
Why did you say that name?
You hear about the cable?
What is thy bidding, my master?
Ask God.
Forever, forever, ever. Forever.
Yeah.
What
it do?
Neighborhood.
What it do, neighborhood? We have arrived.
So let's get it poppin'.
You already know what it is. Another week, another episode of the Mayne Authority. I am 0.5 of your hosting duo, your boy Freddie Roy, and over here is the homie Lavish Blackman, and you know, if you in the building, man, look.
Woo.
I'm gonna have to steal one. And go rob. And let me tell you something.
Oh man.
Woo! There was a movie came out last night, I think. You might have heard about it. Movie called something about going home, not having a home, homeless people, something like that.
That's the way it is, man.
Oh man, did anybody happen to see that movie? Did anyone happen to see that?
I see this.
Just curious, because I saw it. 2 times. 2 times. Oh, what movie was it? What movie was it?
Spider-Man.
Disney. Man, look.
Man, it's
I'm
amazing.
just saying, like, boy.
I can't
Can't
put the words, but we're going to.
I don't know. I don't know. First of all, let me just go say this right now. This is the only time I'm gonna say it. Spoiler alert. Oh, Purple Drink got me feeling good tonight, man.
Hey, you already know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Look, he finished in the bottle. I'm already there. Man, look, I don't even know where to start, bro. Right off top, man. Spider-Man. No Way Home.
Top. Right
10.
top.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10, yes.
10 out of 10, bro. 10 out of 10. I'm going to say this too.
Say it.
Top 3 MCU movie all time.
See? Told you to get up.
Top 3.
Yep.
Top 3. And I will sandwich this bad boy in between Infinity War and Endgame.
I will have to agree.
That's where I'm at with it, man.
That's
where I'm at with it, man.
Who gave it a 9.5?
9.5. Get out of here. Jedi Mike. No, I'm just playing, man.
Jedi Mike.
Man, look. What you mean not enough Daredevil, man? Like, Daredevil wasn't, man, look.
That was the perfect amount of Daredevil.
Let me just say it like this. This movie did just about everything right. Put it this way. For the entire feature film length, bruh, it was flawless, in my opinion. I don't think there was anything they could have done better. They could have done it different, but I don't think they could have done anything better. I'll say that. My gripes don't even start. I don't even have any gripes in the movie. My gripes don't happen until the credits.
Right.
That's real talk. But man, tell me how you feeling, bro. I got so much to say.
I know. I mean, I'm right there with you, man. From minute one, even though a lot of it they've already released and you kind of seen it from the first beginning, it's like I was ready to see it in entirety without interruption. And I got just that, man. And it was just completely like Spider-Man is amazing. Completely amazing from start to finish, all the way down to the end, which we will get to.
Oh, man. Oh, my goodness. So
Can't wait.
I'm going to do this, man. I'm going to, since we know we're going to be talking a lot of loving goodness about the movie, I'm going to go on and get straight into what I didn't like. We're going to go there. We'll go there.
Let's go there.
What I did not like. That is the wackest way to introduce Venom into the MCU, people.
Yes. Why do
that? That is whack as shit. And I'm sorry, Mama Good, if you watching, but I got to say it like that. It's whack as shit. Why? Of all the ways to do it.
Why go that way? I didn't understand it. I didn't like it, man.
And I like Tom Hardy so much as him, bruh.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's not even the Tom Hardy angle. It's just, if you're going to even switch it up for the MCU and give us a different Eddie Brock for the MCU, then you should just take the opportunity to show that there's a symbiote in a different way.
Right.
In a different way. If you got the rights to it or whatever, do it in a different way. That was something
exactly. That was, to me, man, what that seemed like was that's like Sony just refusing to play ball all the way with the fight. Right. It's either that or the mouse is afraid to do a Venom the way they've done these first two. Well, it's got to be one or the other, man. Because
either that, or I'll even add one more to that.
What you got?
That, or they plan on introducing Venom a lot sooner than trying to wait for Secret Wars.
Yeah, but even still, like, even if you're not waiting, like, that means you basically are saying we are going to introduce a new character as Eddie Brock, or we're going to introduce Venom in a different way than what we just saw or what we're accustomed to seeing. Which, again, I don't have no problem with them going that route, but it's like, man, you had perfection.
Yeah, you had it.
You had perfection in your grasp.
And they let it go.
And you let it slip. You let it slip through your little webbed fingers.
Why?
Why?
No.
Why?
That's not what we wanted. That is not the way
No,
to do it.
no, not at all.
To me, you wait for Secret Wars if you're gonna do it.
Right.
Okay. Or from here you could try to fix it with Secret Wars
Mm-hmm.
where you won't do it. But like, come on, man, leaving a piece of a symbiote on the table.
Right.
Should have left a little more than that on the table.
A little bit more. Just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Like just a tiny bit. That's all you had to do. All they had to do, man.
What else didn't you like though, man?
Well, since we talking about post-credit scenes, man, I'm gonna be real with you. I didn't like the Doctor Strange post-credit scene.
You did not?
I did not.
I can't lie.
It's not the movie, and it's not what we saw. It's the context behind it. Wait a minute, though. We got Miss Felicity with the $5 said, can't be there tonight because I'm watching No Way Home at Sunday, 10 a.m. Eastern. We'll miss hanging with you guys, but I'll catch the replay. Don't slide by your knob too much. Stay blurty, my friends. First of all, you should know me better than that. I guess, second of all, grown folks got jobs and social lives now.
Right. That's all of a sudden.
It's all good, though. I ain't mad. It's good. You're going to see Spider-Man, so I'll allow it.
Right.
I will allow it. Just this once. Just this once.
You and Kyle Carter.
Exactly. We see you. We see you.
It's
Man.
Okay. Enjoy it.
I also see Whitney with the fire tonight. Like, hold on now. Slow down. Wait a minute. Be coming at me like that. Nah, we not doing that.
I see you. Yeah. She said that trailer was amazing, though. That's where the disdain comes from. She said she liked that trailer. Said she liked seeing and hearing that.
It was cool, but so let me tell you what I didn't. Let me tell you why I said I wasn't feeling it. Number one, because Sony had to make us wait to the very end of their credits before we got to see that damn trailer.
Oh, of course.
Number one.
Okay.
After watching a 2.5 hour movie, bro, cut me some slack, Sony. Put the damn trailer in the middle of the credits so I can get home. Damn. That's number one. That's number one.
Okay, but hold on. If they did that, then you would have had a way home, and it would have defeated the whole purpose of you coming knowing that you ain't had no way home.
Nah, man. Nah. No.
Trying to keep you in the theaters, man.
No. Then not only that, not just that. I really don't like the setup of how they're bringing Strange and Wanda together. Like, I get that you have to have like a setup to where he's got to go to her and they'll probably start collaborating together until she realizes there's a real chance for her to get her kids. I kind of see it going that way, but I'm like, man, can we one time not just have the most obvious interaction or setup like for an MCU movie? I get that, it's they give you the simplest explanation, the easiest answer, point A to point B, bam, here you go. We got to keep the normies up to speed. But damn. So now Strange is just gonna roll out there and be like, "Hey, what you know about multiverses? I kind of messed up.
Right? Yeah,
I need a little bit of help.
I missed
now.
that clap.
Let me and here's my biggest gripe. That's all the evil Doctor Strange I get.
Yes.
Not even 2.5 seconds. You're gonna tease me like that, but you're not gonna give me nothing else.
Nope.
Like that's the only reason I'm here, folks. I want some evil Strange.
You know why though, right?
Why?
It should be kind of obvious because you know that everything you just saw is going to be completely different by the time they drop the actual trailer.
Of course.
None of that's true.
Of course. Of course.
He ain't going to say, "I need your help." He's going to be like, "Oh, it was your fault."
Yeah, but we back at the beginning. We back at the beginning of the hype train again. You know what it was like when we were sitting over here going, "Just tell me they in the movie already." We right at the beginning.
I ain't never left the train. I just moved to a different car.
No, man. No, I didn't get off all the way off the train, but I was in the caboose somewhere, like looking like, I wonder if I jump, if I could land and run. I was smarter than that, though. I knew better at the last minute, man. But look, I had to go extra hard on something because that's about all the dissatisfaction I got. This movie gave me everything that I could have wanted from a Spider-Man MCU movie to bring everything full circle. The biggest gripe, the biggest argument, or the biggest beef that I had with Tom Holland's Spider-Man was that he hadn't been through shit and that he still had that boyish, immaturity that made it real hard to kind of like root for him as Peter Parker because he really hadn't dealt with anything. They fixed that shit. They fixed that.
Oh yeah.
They hurry up and fix that in this one.
All the way.
Like totally.
100.
And you know, talking about the cameos, because again, if you in here, you already know what it is. Like we said, we never really seriously doubted that Toby and Andrew were gonna be in this movie.
Not serious.
Not serious.
I was trolling.
You know,
I was trolling.
No, never really seriously doubted it. But here's the thing about it. What I wasn't sure about was how it would feel throughout the movie with them there. Were they going to take away from the movie? Would I feel like I didn't get enough? Would I feel like they were just there as cameos? They made sure that their being there had actual plot significance beyond just them needing to help him deal with that situation.
Yep.
That essentially what you have now is a Peter Parker that has the most thorough, the most vetted, and the most authentic backstory that you could ask for out of Spider-Man on a live action screen. From you, like, better, and this is me. Look, I am the Tobey Maguire stan. This trilogy is now better than the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man trilogy.
Yes.
Like, by far.
Yes.
By far.
A whole movie.
And Andrew Garfield is now redeemed in my eyes. Because he was better in this one movie than he was in either one of his own solo Spider-Man movies. And that's not necessarily a knock, but damn, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I never would have expected him to be the emotional weight of the movie. Right. Like, yep, Tom Holland got his, and you know, there was some little tear-jerking moments with Tom Holland's Peter Parker. But man, for my money, Andrew Garfield got me, bro.
Yeah.
Like, he got me on 2 separate occasions. And I mean 4 in total, because I've seen the movie twice. Like, I'm just saying, like, even when I knew it was coming, man, he still managed to get them tears up out of me.
Yeah, like he kind of made you feel like he was, for me, and when I say this, like the original Spider-Man, but I mean like accept him for the Spider-Man from the animated series. Like if he was brought to life, Andrew Garfield totally embodied that. Now I don't know if he went back and watched them and was like, okay, this is where I'm gonna come from, because when he hit my man with that that youth pastor,
God, that youth pastor line had me dead the first time, bro. I was dead the first time.
Spot on.
Oh man, but well, he got it, man. So I want to ask you about this because I know how I felt about it, but with I know a lot of people were saying, well, this just felt like a reboot or like they wiped the slate clean with Spider-Man. Would you be disappointed if the next Spider-Man wasn't a Tom Holland film?
No, I wouldn't be disappointed. No, okay. I guess I have to let me be honest about that. I'm not gonna be disappointed to the point where I would want to restart the Tom Holland verse. But I would be a little disappointed because I would feel as if it would be a missed opportunity for at least an actor to do 2 sets of trilogies that carry across the same character in both. Like that never been done. There's usually a trilogy gets closed out, done. But if he happens to come back for like a 4, 5, 6, that would be like, that's revolutionary. That's like, ain't nobody doing that. Nobody's been able to do that. Right. And being such a young actor puts him in a great spot to be the first. So I would be disappointed in the fact that it's a missed opportunity, but I wouldn't be like, oh, well, we need a petition to get him back for Spider-Man because change.org. I wouldn't do all that type of stuff. It just, it is what it is, man. It is what it is.
I can't believe that I'm actually saying this right now. I would.
Really?
I would lead the charge for the change.org petition to bring back Tom Holland. Because you can't give me what you just gave me and not give me more. Because now you set him up. You've given him all the weight. You've given him the experience. You've given him the depth. You have made him my Peter Parker now. I don't want to see somebody else come in and fill that role. Not immediately. Or if you do, don't let it be the main Spider-Man of the sacred timeline, if you will. Like, no.
He's the main Spider-Man.
Oh, he can be the main. You know what I mean. You know what I'm saying, man. You know. You know. But that's my thing, man. It's like you finally give me a proper Spider-Man origin, a proper and thorough Spider-Man origin at that. And then you're going to say, oh, nah, well, we just going to wipe the slate clean and keep it moving with somebody else now? No, that's going to feel like some Henry Cavill shit.
Right.
No. We ready. Like, this is, and don't worry, people. We're going to go back to the very beginning of the movie and we're going to walk through it because there's so many moments. There's so much to talk to. But right now I'm freestyling because, man, Purple Drink got me feeling good. And bruh, the emotions is just rolling because the movie
there was just so much to unpack from that movie, and it was done so well. It was, to me, it is like the best comic book story movie that's been made. Like, it flowed from beginning to end.
Yes.
And it didn't lose you. It didn't make you laugh too much. They set you up properly when things were getting ready to go awry. When things went that way, even though you knew it was going to happen, you're like, but how's he going to get out of this? How far is this going to go? When it went that far, it kind of pulled you back, but didn't let you realize that it went further than you thought it did in the first place. And it just kept going. It didn't stop. It was a snowball down the hill and turned into a whole avalanche by the end of it.
It felt like I was bungee jumping, bro. And like every time I would feel like I was as low as I could get, it would snap you right back into something else. And then you would be like, oh, okay, I think I'm going to be safe. Then something else would happen and you'd be like, oh God, I'm dropping again. Like, what's going on? And it stayed that way, like to the very end of the movie almost, like through which I thought was going to be damn near impossible, considering that we basically knew the end of the movie before we saw it, which we going to get into that because I actually have some thoughts on that as well. But let's do this. In the interest of time, let's take it back and let's start from the beginning. So essentially, the setup was exactly what we thought it was going to be in terms of, and what they put forward in terms of him being, out of the Spider-Man and then the public basically turning on him and whatnot. I thought that was really interesting. Kind of the stuff, the way that they showed him kind of interacting with the people and whatnot. And I was about ready to like backhand that Karen. That was like, he hit me. Oh my God. I don't condone putting hands on females, but I swear I was finna call my little sister and be like, handle my lightweight.
I'm trying to tell you. That whole interaction got me because it's like, dude, immediately, are you Spider-Man's girlfriend? You Spider-Man? Like, hey, why would you?
Hey man, like slide, like yes, bro, like 1000%. That's why he couldn't have been a black Spider-Man going through that because it would have been movie would have ended in the first 20 minutes.
He'd have been like Spider-Cuz.
Exactly. Facts. All facts.
He's a total like Spider-Cuz. Yes, all the way.
But yeah, like the whole thing, man, like even when they were like under interrogation, like the whole thing with the conversation and the exchange with Ned was hilarious. I thought all of that was beautifully played. They immediately set Zendaya up in this movie to be an authority, which I thought was dope because in the last couple of movies, she's had an integral role, but she's been more of an ancillary character, whereas she was, front and center in this one. And they let you know off top that she wasn't just going to be damsel in distress. So I thought that was cool. It was, like I said, the whole thing with Ned and him kind of getting finessed by the FBI or whoever that was, DODC, that was hilarious and predictable.
Right.
You just knew it was coming. Classic Ned, right? Classic Ned.
He's narcissism, man. Just sit back and be quiet. Shut up. 2 times, man. 2 times.
Exactly. You know what they say about snitches. Even if you don't realize you snitching when you snitching.
Right.
Come on, man.
That's the worst kind.
Exactly.
That's the worst kind. They don't even believe they snitched.
That.
It's like, I
that
didn't say
part.
That. I wasn't me.
But yeah.
It was you.
It was you, mother.
It
exactly.
Was you.
Right. But that brings us right into like the first big reveal of the movie.
Yes.
Sitting at the table with Aunt May, with Happy, with Tom.
with the cane. That was
With
the
the
first thing you
cane,
saw.
yes. With the once you saw the cane, you knew it was a wrap. You saw the cane and you knew what was up, man. But Mr. Matt Murdock himself, Charlie Cox, Daredevil, in the MCU, officially now.
In the building.
In the building. Perfect.
Yes.
I thought that was perfect. Because all you have to do is confirm he's there. He doesn't, because again, and this is why part of the reason why I want to see Tom Holland come back. Because I would love to see an interaction where you've got this Tom Holland, this version of Peter Parker, interacting with Daredevil in New York. Like, that would be perfect. Like, have them have to team up on some like Kingpin type stuff, not necessarily for a long, like for an extended period of time, but just give me that. Like, as a fan, I want that. I want to see that. That would be incredible. So again, that goes back to my Tom Holland thing. But for people who felt like it wasn't enough Daredevil, how do you feel about that?
I'm feeling like they just gonna have to deal with it, man. Because to me, like, how's that not enough? My man he had adequate screen time in that scene. He pretty much dominated the scene, and in the end, like, seeing my man catch that brick through the window, that was swag. And to me, I feel like he's not gonna have the traditional Netflix origin. I feel like they're gonna boss him up a little bit. And speaking of that, I don't remember at the moment. I don't want to say it was Screen Rant, but I know that there was like a video article of them talking about that Charlie Cox's scene and Kingpin, like, their origins mess up Netflix. All thing I gotta say to that is, who cares?
Like,
who cares?
We don't need. I don't need the Netflix movie or Netflix shows and what happened in the Netflix shows to be incorporated into the canon.
No.
All I need to know is those characters are back. That's it.
Yep.
You can totally wipe the shows and what happened in the shows off the board if you want to. That's cool. But because what made those shows weren't the episodes. And that's what I feel like people are missing. It's not that I want to see them back because the Netflix shows were all that. No, the Netflix shows were all of that because, like, my dude killed it. Like, Charlie Cox killed it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Vincent D'Onofrio killed it. Like, they are the best ever versions of that character we have ever gotten. So you don't want to see those actors go away. So, you know, all the stuff about storyline and whatnot and continuity, that's all semantics to me. I could care less because they can totally brush over that and give us way better stories and more stories that have more to do with the continuity of the MCU going forward. As long as you give me Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio, we good. So I agree with you 100% on that one.
I want to stop and answer this question real fast if we may. But is Spider-Man still an Avenger? People only forgot Peter and not Spider-Man. And that is the fact there. Because I like the way they closed it out with J. Jonah Jameson still ranting about Spider-Man like he normally would if people did not know who he was. So I would say yes, Spider-Man still would be considered an Avenger or hero and all that types of stuff wrapped back into one. But the major downside, at least if you actually are Spider-Man, is none of those people actually like remember who you are, but that's still a doorway that you use in the future story for them to be like, yeah, I remember a Spider-Man being there and him being obnoxious, blah, 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 blah. But for some reason, I can't remember nothing else. I feel like I should remember more or something like that. And then that's the doorway you use to like kind of bring those memories back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't even... Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying, so I feel like he's an Avenger, but yeah, nobody remembers. There's a downside to that.
I'm glad we're getting into this right now because I feel like people are going way too deep with this. It's very simple. No one remembers that he's Peter Parker. That's it. Yep. So everything in my mind, the way that I took that was everything that he did in every movie leading up to this still happened. He was still there. The only difference is no one knows that he's Peter Parker. Right. So he knew, him having that conversation with Happy Hogan at the end, like there was not anything in that broke any type of continuity because, again, Happy don't know that's Spider-Man.
Right.
And that's the thing. Like, they could all have interactions with Spider-Man and just not know that that's Peter Parker. And that does not affect anything. I saw somebody, I can't remember what video it was, if it was Heavy Spoilers or Screen Crush or somebody, And they were asking like questions like, well, what does that mean with the tweets that everybody posted about Spider-Man being Peter Parker and all of this? And I'm like, bro, you think you overthinking it. Like I don't go to movies for them to answer every single question to make the continuity locked tight.
I mean, it's a magic spell. The spell pretty much just makes it for where people don't remember that is Peter, that Spider-Man is Peter Parker. That means if it's magic, that means tweets, all that stuff go away. There shouldn't be anything out there to remind people that Spider-Man.
Like if you really need it spelled out, just say that in all the tweets and everything else, if it mentions his name as Peter Parker, they just change it to Spider-Man. If it was a picture of his face, it is no longer his face. No. Or people don't see that. Right. Like they can't remember. They don't exactly. Like it's
yes. And reframed. Yes.
Exactly. It doesn't need. I don't need everything to like make sense from that respect, because that's not a plot point that's going to break the continuity at all. Not for me. But bringing it back to Daredevil, Charlie Cox, and getting to see Matt Murdock. Like the question I have for that, you think we get Foggy?
I don't know if they was going to bring back any of the other supporting role actors.
Right.
I don't see why not. I mean, to be honest, for that show, the majority of the cast I enjoyed. I enjoyed Foggy. I enjoyed, oh girl, I don't know why I'm blanking on her name right now. I had it. No, it starts with a K. Kate. Yeah, I enjoyed Kate. I enjoyed all of them. And how they played their roles. I thought that was fine. Within the story. So I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't, but I'm not entirely sure. I mean, I did see tweets stuff like that with Charlie Cox and the chick who played Kate, and I'll see you soon and all that types of stuff. So I mean, it's little teased out there that it's a possibility. I don't see why not. I mean, it's not like they ain't got the budget for it, and it would only help solidify the show when it comes back, and for people to be able to get back into it in the same way. Because I feel like from watching Hawkeye, even if they did a Disney Plus, which is talking about doing a Disney Plus of Daredevil anyway, I think it'd be handled pretty well. The only thing I would say I have as a slight concern is whether it's going to be as mature as it was.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So the cast would be needed.
Right. And that's, that's going to be an interesting thing to really get into, is when we actually start getting these characters in these now Disney-owned MCU shows, movies, whatever. How will that translate? How will that translate? And so my thing is, I'm gonna take the wait and see approach, because I know like the easy thing to do is say, oh well, the mouse is gonna censor it and water it down, and it's not gonna be as good. But again, for me, as great as those stories were and those shows were, the violence wasn't. That was more like icing or cherry on the sundae for me. It wasn't the violence that made it a great show. Right. It was the actual portrayal of the characters and the way that came across throughout the storylines that they created. So I'm gonna wait and see how they play it out in, whether it's on Disney Plus, whether they do a Hulu thing with it, whatever they do.
I would hope it's Hulu.
Yeah, I would hope it was Hulu also, because I feel like that's an opportunity for them to kind of create a whole new, like more mature, darker version of or place for the MCU. That would be really cool. Yeah, definitely would be really cool for that.
Move over there, all of them types of shows.
Yeah. So let's go forward. And let's talk about the first villain reveal beyond Doc Ock and the Goblin, because I think we all kind of saw that, and again, for what that was, it all kind of hit exactly the way you expected it to. I don't think there were any major surprises. I like the exchange with them kind of in the dungeon or whatever once they were down there. That was pretty cool. But I want to get to the Jamie Foxx reveal, because I just got to say this. Thank you, White Suge and MCU, for giving us a real black villain for a change.
Right.
We finally got one of us as a villain for real. Bruh, Jamie had me dying. And it was like just the subtle stuff he was doing. It was like, oh man, that's exactly how we be acting too.
Mm-hmm.
Like the whole thing. Like my man was like, y'all just gonna stand there and act like I ain't butt ass naked.
Right. Like,
I'm
come
like,
on.
thank you. Like
Right.
acknowledge the fact that like this is just like not even, this ain't cool
Like, I
at all.
wonder if they even gave him a script.
No,
Like,
I think they did in some ways,
no.
but a lot of that, I to your point, I wonder how much of his role was freestyle.
Right.
Because
Yeah,
it seemed like Jamie was just like out there riffing, man.
Yeah, he was probably improvising a lot, man.
I want to see them outtakes.
Yes, I definitely want. I'm saying this is actually going to be like the first time I will actually go out and buy a Blu-ray in years, because I do want to see the behind the scenes to all that types of stuff, man. If it don't show up elsewhere, I'm totally gonna go buy this and watch all them behind the scenes, because I want to see Jamie getting prepared for the role and getting prepared his lines, because everything he said, even down to where he was even spot on with being the villain and saying what he needed to say, was still spot on. And I was like, man, I get some more Jamie. Can we figure out a way to keep my man's in the MCU to come back some other type of way?
I think I have it. We'll get into that, but I think I have an idea. I've been thinking about this one all day, but I don't want to spoil it yet.
I see what you did there, Jared.
Mm-hmm.
You did there.
Real nice. And he was 1000%. We're gonna touch on that at the end too.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, man, I loved Jamie in this version. I love the way that they explained, without having to go too deep into explaining the differences and whatnot. I thought that was really cool. Surprisingly, were you surprised or were you as surprised as I was at how well that combination of villains worked on screen?
No, I actually thought when I've heard the lineup, I thought that was the perfect coming together of their main villains.
Right.
That was the right amount and the right people to use from each of the movies. No, I really wasn't surprised it was going to work out all that well. I mean, Willem Dafoe's the man. I'm surprised they didn't. Only thing I was surprised about was they didn't use Thomas Hayden Church more as himself. I was surprised to see that they actually used Sandman all the way through to the end, and then just gave that even for Lizard, and just gave.
I wonder how much of that had to do with maybe the CGI and the de-aging, and if there was any trouble, because it looked like they had William Dafoe on lock, they had Alfred Molina on lock, like. There, you couldn't even tell that was any type of de-aging CGI. So I just wonder if that had anything to do with it. But either way, I think it still fit, because again, that was the one thing that that did surprise me, was it wasn't the villain lineup. It was the fact that with all of those villains in the movie, nobody felt overshadowed, and nobody felt like or underutilized. Like everybody's role was appropriate, and they kind of moved appropriately throughout the movie. Like you got Lizard, but Lizard was more of, kind of like the hired muscle, if you will, from a certain set. You know what I'm saying? Right. Obviously William Dafoe or Goblin was the main villain, but even, the exchange between the rest of them, it like just that group of actors worked. And it was a thing where you almost wish that you could see a Sinister Six movie with those versions of those characters, which we still could, still could very well happen. But it was really cool to see those characters kind of interact, and for it to mesh as well as it did. Because again, for me, the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies were my least favorite. But the reason they were my least favorite were because of the fact that it seemed like the characters were more campy than the Raimi Spider-Man movies, but they were trying to be cool. So it was almost like they didn't lean into the fact that it was as cheesy as it was. They tried to make it serious, and it's like, I'm sorry, but I'm not taking Jamie Foxx with that comb over serious. And, and so,
I think the problem for me when it came to that was the fact that they tried to do a high school movie, and Garfield just really didn't
look like he was high school yes.
Not for cinematic. I mean, he got some 30-year-old, 18-year-olds in high school. You know what I'm saying? Kids with beards in elementary school. But I don't know. He just looked like they tried to do the Will Smith thing, and it just didn't.
Yeah, it did not work. It did not work.
No.
No,
That's what
absolutely.
as
But
well.
yeah, I really enjoyed, just that, and even the whole Jamie Foxx that fight, that whole action piece. Like the action pieces in this movie, bruh. Like this is the best Spider-Man combat we've seen ever.
Yes.
Like by far. By far.
Yeah, the coordinators got together on this one.
Yeah, man. Like it was incredible. But you keep going. So then, you've got Electro, you see the whole thing, and then you've got and this is after the whole, wishing, to forget and all of that happened, which again, all of that to me was standard fare. Like nothing about that was shocking, or there weren't any revelations in how that was done in any kind of way that I felt like, kind of threw me for a loop or anything like that.
Right.
But we got to get to it, man. I'm just gonna go here.
Go ahead.
Aunt May.
Ooh, the heartbreaker.
Pour a little bit of purple drink out for Aunt May, y'all, man. Cause damn, I'm gonna tell you, I expected to see Aunt May die.
Right.
I definitely didn't expect it to hit me that way.
Right. I didn't expect him to do it that way either.
Because the thing is, and this might sound crazy, this might sound wild, but you know what didn't hit me about it? She's his Uncle Ben. That literally didn't hit me until right in that moment. When she hit him with the great power comes great responsibility line, I was like, oh shit, she about to be his Ben.
Yep. He is Uncle
You
Ben.
you knew she was done.
You knew she was gone, right? As soon as she said that line too, after it all had happened, I was like,
yeah,
oh,
man. And I will say this. Even if you hate Tom Holland as Spider-Man, the one thing you have to give him over Andrew Garfield, over Tobey Maguire, that little motherfucking cell of death.
Yeah, he did.
He did it with Tony, and he did it with May, bro. Like
he did it with May, like old school Disney.
Oh yeah, man. Oh,
that was some Fox and the Hound deaths right there.
Yeah, man, that was a tough one. That's gonna make a tear come out every time you watch that one. Like, that whole scene, and then Happy pull up, and Happy's like, "Run, bro!" I was just like, "Run, Peter, get out of there, boy!" I was like, "This is crazy."
He got shot, fell in his knee, like,
yes.
I don't know. Yeah. That even the bullet didn't pull him out of that moment, man.
No,
like that.
No, that was crazy. It was like that whole thing. You were just gripped in that scene, and that's the thing about this movie that makes it so incredible. Is it's not, take all of the gimmicks aside, or the cameos and the nostalgia and all of that. The emotional beats of this movie hit in a way that like you just don't expect a comic book movie to hit. Like and this is post Endgame. Like we literally watched like the Avengers get dusted, and we dealt with like the emotional like craziness of that. But this to me hit different, bro. Like this was like, oh, they actually taking that May away from him. Like you knew it was coming, but damn,
yeah.
And it's just like in that scene, you like and again, like I was gonna save it, but I gotta say it right here. William Dafoe is that,
ain't he?
Like,
yo,
bruh, did you see my man like going full-fledged Joker when like Spider-Man was pounding on his face in that building and he was just laughing, bro? Like, wow,
man,
we got cheated by not getting to see him play Joker. We got cheated. This was the next best thing, though. This is the next best thing, like straight up.
Facts. Yeah, all the way down to the power bombs and the pile drivers, man.
Yes.
I mean, throwing them through windows. Was not playing around.
No.
At all.
No.
And that was the Goblin we needed. That's the Goblin we missed.
Yes. The whole thing. Yes. I was so glad when he like got rid of the mask, and I was just like, okay, now we get to see crazy ass William Dafoe for real. Like, let's go. Because, dude, like the scene where he's at feast with Aunt May, like you feel sorry for that dude. Yeah. You're like, damn, he really messed up in the head. Like, dang.
Dude, like when he's trying to, like, he sounds like he's trying to be a good person, and he doesn't want to be Goblin no more. You really believe him.
You really believe him. But it's like you knew. He was like, yeah,
like, don't trust him.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time.
Only a matter of time. Yeah.
But yeah, man, you get Aunt May, that was gut wrenching. Oh my God. But then it's like you go, and this is why I say this movie was so perfectly paced. Because right after that, you transition to Ned and MJ. And they're sitting there and they're like, and MJ's like, I'm about to press the button. And they go through that whole exchange. I thought the Ned, I just wish I could see Peter, bruh. I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah.
I thought that whole setup was brilliant.
Yeah, man.
And
Totally. I'm
definitely down to see Ned doing some magic somewhere in the future.
Right.
Like, I'm totally with that.
Yeah, it makes me really wonder what they're going to do with Ned because, they tease that he might have magic and then he actually does it. But then, of course, later in the movie, you get where he's talking about, he's not going to turn into the bad best friend.
Right.
So it's like, are they standing true to that? Was that like foreshadow? Or are they really saying, okay, we're not going to make Ned Leeds a villain down the road? It'll be somebody else because, it's the MCU, so they probably will use somebody else for that. Because there's always Flash Thompson who turns into Hobgoblin people. It's not just Ned Leeds. It's a different.
Tell him.
I know my man Second Street's going to back me up on that. But, you still got Black Cat. So, the whole college trope thing, it can still be a whole set of people. You can bring Ned Leeds in to maybe be different Sorcerer Supreme or something like that. That would be dope. Make him like another Wong. I think he would do good as another Wong if for some reason we don't get Wong in the future anymore. Which I believe his name was Benedict Wong in real life, isn't it?
Yeah, serious, right? Well, let's back up on that a minute because how'd you feel about Wong being the Sorcerer Supreme?
On a technicality, I thought that was really funny because it was like he's actually going out and being responsible and stuff. But when it comes to Wong, seeing him in Shang-Chi, it's like, okay.
Make you wonder, don't it?
Right. Was he going out to do some Sorcerer Supreme type stuff?
Right.
Vacation? Because he was not trying to have nothing to do with none of this. He was like, leave me out of it.
He was like, nah, man, my name is Bennett, and I ain't in it.
Right. At all. So I thought that was so funny, but it didn't take anything away from Doctor Strange to me.
No, not at all.
Not with that. Not that scene. But we'll talk about it later, but the scene later with the geometry is what.
Oh, no, that was brilliant to me.
For me. I thought it was too,
because here's the thing. This is what I mean by when I said that we got a proper origin for Spider-Man. Because one of the things that I feel like in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man and the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, you don't get to understand really the strength that Spider-Man has.
Right. Or his mind as
or how smart he is. Exactly. You get his strength on full display in this movie. Like my man wasn't holding back in some of them fights. But then you also get that brilliance because that scene, and I think that scene with Doctor Strange was exactly what that was for. Because when you look at this version of Spider-Man and you look at all of the battles that he's been in, what has he been at most in those fights?
They've been more physical.
Right, they've been more physical.
Test his strength.
But he's been more of, it's almost like a cat and mouse kind of thing. Like there hasn't been, he's mostly gotten his ass beat. Like, let's just call it what it is. Yeah. And, which would make sense because again, you're talking about a teenager that's trying to learn his powers.
Right.
But what you saw in this one is he's now at a point where not only does he, he's starting to come into his own with his powers, but he's also starting to be able to meld his scientific prowess with that. And by using both of those, that was the edge that he had on, I think, on somebody like Strange. Because Strange, I think, is much smarter. Like, I still think Strange is smarter than Peter Parker.
Yeah.
In this iteration. But Strange ain't got the athleticism.
Strange is too cocky still.
Exactly. And Strange is arrogant. Right. And he said as much. Even when he was like, this is the mirror dimension where I control, I run. Right. You just live here.
Right.
So it was like, yeah, you coming in arrogant, and now this little kid this young dude did now outsmarted you, man. So, I thought that was a good lesson for both of them, or should I say, it was a good way. It served 2 points. It was able to give Strange a lesson in humility, but then it was also we also were able to get a proper understanding of just like where you could slot somebody like Spider-Man when you talk about MCU heroes and power levels and like where they rank, because now you can say, oh, well, nah, this dude is smart enough to outsmart the Sorcerer Supreme in the mirror dimension and strong enough to be able to do XYZ. Like, you got to put some respect on Spider-Man name, man.
Yeah, man. Like that when he knocked him out of his body,
bruh.
I tell you.
Oh man, and the spider sense when they did it, and you saw that, and my dude is like, nope, no. I'm like, bro, this is beautiful. It's beautiful, because they're giving you, without hitting you over the head, without hitting you with any crazy exposition. They are showing you how powerful Spider-Man is, and like the extent of his abilities, like without having to make it overt, which was, I think, again, incredible. But again, we were talking about Ned, Mayne, and I really do hope to see him come back and kind of flex his magic a little bit.
Yeah.
But that brings us to it, man, because they think they're getting Peter back, and they getting Peter back, but it's not the Peter they thought.
Nope, not at all. Not at all.
What kind of pop did your theater get when he showed up?
Oh man. The moment he opened the portal up, and the eyes was different than the normal Spider-Man. That's all he was wearing the mask in the first place. Like, I think at first you could hear like a hum, like people were like, "It's Andrew." And as soon as my man popped through, but oh my god, it's Andrew! Hey, like the theater went crazy.
Yeah, man. See, my first showing was about half full. The theater was half full, and it was when Andrew popped through the portal, and it wasn't until he ripped the mask off. Then everybody was like, oh, snap.
Yeah.
The second one, though, it was like, as soon as the portal opened, because that one was full. That whole showing was full. We were like in the second row. It was so live in that theater when he ripped that, when they opened that portal, because everybody knew what was what. And it was like, oh, here it come. And he hopped in and he just lost it, bro. It was like, it was incredible, man. It was incredible. And I thought that whole thing was perfect. Like the way they were introduced, you get to see them and kind of take that in, but you don't go right to action, which I thought was perfect, because I didn't want to see them just like automatically come in with the suit and be like, okay, what's up? Well, let's go do what we got to go do. Like I wanted them to kind of have to feel some stuff out, and I thought it was perfect, because then you get Toby, and after, I have to say this, seeing Toby on screen.
Are you talking about Jean-Claude Van Maguire?
Yes, I am talking about Jean-Claude Van Maguire.
Jean-Claude Van Maguire.
He can't carry no Spider-Man movie no more, bro. Like, as much as I love Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, bro, the way he was looking in this movie, dog, like, he gonna have to be Toby looked tired.
Yes,
Toby looked tired. Like, you don't even have to put the R in that. He just looked tired.
Like, tired.
Man, he was the grizzled vet Spider-Man. I just seen it all. I'm just, you know what I'm saying? Like, it fit this movie, but you know, I remember we were speculating, and I was talking about, well, leave Toby in this universe and let Tom go. Nah, man. No, man. Toby ain't gonna be able to make it, bro. They have some kind of multiversal event. Toby beat him passed out.
Better bring him back to Uncle Ben for a different universe.
Facts, that part.
And give him the box of rice with it. It's fine.
That whole thing, man. Because it wasn't it. Yeah, he was Michael Clark Duncan tired, boy. He was straight up, Lauren. He was tired, bro. But it was cool. It was like seeing them. It brought back all the feels, man. Again, worst kept secret in Hollywood for the last several months. Everybody and their mama knew, and this just goes to show you, people. This just goes to show you. These actors and actresses be lying through their teeth.
Man, you can't even trust the trailers.
No, man. The trailers is even lying to you, man.
And everybody in Hollywood lies. We know it now. We're just going to accept it.
We just got to call it what it is, man. So, again, I don't want anybody else coming to me talking about, well, so-and-so in the interview said, I don't really give two shits.
Nope.
Because they lied. And I totally don't blame them for lying.
Right.
But I knew they was lying.
Yeah. Matter of fact, when they start lying in these interviews, we're just going to start looking at the interviews to dissect where they lying.
Exactly.
That's what we're going to start doing. That's what we're going to start. But I got a question for you.
Yes.
So I thought it was interesting that when they brought in Andrew, they brought in Toby, that they started to fight, or that Toby initiated the fight. So that kind of makes me wonder, like, has he already kind of been through some multiversal stuff? Because he was at the least phased about it. Andrew was all excited about it. Andrew's character was super, it exists, I knew it, blah, blah, blah. He was kind of right where Tom was. With respect, he should be, because he was just in that college, just out of high school phase when they ended his movie. So he was kind of right where Tom is. But my man Toby, unfazed by it all. It was kind of like he had done it already. So that kind of makes me wonder if, even if they don't bring him back for like a main Spider-Man thing, if he would come back in the future for any kind of other multiversal or time travel type stuff they decide to do. Maybe like how freaking amazing would it be if he was in Quantum Mania for some reason?
Oh, that would be super crazy.
Or showed back up in Multiverse of Madness or something.
Well, it's interesting that you should say that, because there was an article or news floating around that there's these reshoots for Multiverse of Madness is to kind of cram in more of these cameos based off of the response from No Way Home.
Gotcha.
That because everybody was freaking out and everybody was giving, popping for the reveals in this movie, now they're gonna go add a few more of those into Multiverse of Madness. So to your point, we very well could, very possibly see them come back. But your point about Toby, I think it wasn't so much that it was like, well, has he seen some multiverse stuff before? But I looked at that more of Toby being so far along in his progression that from a scientific standpoint, he's probably already theorized that this stuff is possible. Right. So it's kind of like a thing where when it happened, even though he didn't know what was going on, he had a pretty good idea based on his own like knowledge. Because that was the one thing I got from this movie was you could see, especially when he was talking about the whole thing with Norman Osborn and how he had been thinking about a cure for so long. Like my dudes had years, like we talking about it, if we're assuming that the timeline is the same, let's say 20 years have passed. Who knows what he knows in 20 years from where he was at the end of his trilogy. So that's the way I took it. Now it's interesting for you to bring that up though, because it's like, could now that I'm thinking about it, could he have been playing coy a little bit and just playing dumb and acting like he didn't know when he knows a little bit more that he's letting on?
I think he knows a little bit more.
Because that could be a setup for later. And that might tie into something that I want to touch on when once we start talking about the end. But yeah, man, it definitely could be. And I will say this in terms of the way that they kind of handled being there. It fit both characters to a T. Because again, Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker, again, reacted exactly how you would expect him to react. Kind of like, whoa, chill out. It's not that serious, but like, let me get my bearings kind of thing. And then, then Toby shows up and he's kind of almost not been there, done that, but he's like, oh, well, yep, I was expecting this. And so, but yeah, I thought that was really interesting in terms of them attacking each other. I just kind of chalked that up to like neither one of them really knowing what was going on, and Spider Sense tingling, like triggering it. And it was kind of like a dual thing where they both were like, okay, but Toby was just a little bit, because he was first, right? Like Toby shot, So I think, because I think Toby was more like
he knew where to shoot them at, but that's what kind of threw me off later when he didn't know or understand about the web fluid. So maybe it was just him kind of understanding where his comes from. So they both shot webs, blah blah blah. Okay, it came from your wrist, so I know where to shoot, type deal.
Right.
That little tidbit kind of threw me off. I didn't really understand why they would fight, and I understand what you're saying about the spider sense. But if neither one of them was a threat, which they weren't to anybody, that part kind of little threw me off, but not so much. It's like
I just took it
a
as
rationality I'll come to or accept if it sounds good.
I got you. Yeah, I just looked at it. It was like both of them were kind of on alert, but Toby was like, you know what? I shoot first. Like on some Han Solo. Like I ain't got time. I'm throwing the web, and we'll deal with it after the fact.
Right.
But I thought
Right.
that whole scene, like it hit the right note, especially right after like the whole gut wrenching thing with Aunt May. I just thought that was so perfectly done. And then them finding him at this Peter Parker spot, and them kind of coming to the conclusion of that being where he would be. That whole scene right there, in my opinion, that is the movie. In my opinion,
I agree.
that exchange is the movie, because what you get in that is those two experienced Spider-Men giving him the game.
Yep.
Right in that point, he's getting the game right there, and that's where you see that the transformation of Tom Holland's Peter Parker into the Peter Parker that we all have been waiting for, was because he realized in that moment that was when it started to change for him, and he started understanding this can't be about me. Like this superhero thing is bigger than me. And these cats is telling me that it's bigger than me, and I'm realizing it. And when they had Toby finish his "with great power, great responsibility" quote, and them kind of connect, that just sealed it for me, man. I was like, all right, yep, best Spider-Man movie of all time. You're never gonna top it. I don't give a damn. Like it was so perfect, because the whole thing was just like he was getting the game from himself, and you could see how like all three of them was vibing on that level, because they are just different variations of each other, so they know each other like that. That's why I thought it was brilliant, to fast forward just a little bit when they got to the end fight scene and they couldn't work as a team, but they quickly realized and diagnosed that was the problem and got on the same page just like that.
Yep.
And that was the thing that again gave Tom Holland Spider-Man credibility, because what's the one thing that he had over these two? That he's got experience fighting with a team of superheroes.
Yeah.
And so he was able to bring that expertise to the table, which put him on par with each one of them, because they all had their own strengths and weaknesses. And you got to see that kind of on display, or you got to hear them kind of speak on that. And I thought that was the heart of the movie, was understanding, because what you did in that scene, it wasn't just about Tom Holland. You squared up all three trilogies, even though Andrew Garfield's was only 2 movies. You squared them all up, because he gave you what happened with him, because he said he ended up getting bitter and started pulling his punches and stopped pulling his punches. So we know that he kind of went through a little dark phase. So again, he knew and understood where Tom Holland was coming from, just the same way that that Tobey Maguire did, and that's why it worked so well. Like it was so perfect to me, man, to see that.
Yeah. Like, no, you said everything I would have said on that one. That was pretty perfect how they pulled that together, and the lab scene right after it.
Yes.
And everybody point at each other and then learn about how the
oh
web
my
goes.
God, when we got the point, bro, like that was another one that the second showing they didn't really get that, but that first showing, like we all died because we knew exactly what that was when it happened, and it was just like, oh man, this movie just they doing everything so right. It's so right.
It gave you the perfect touch of everything through the entire movie as you needed it. Wasn't too much. Didn't foreshadow.
Here's the thing.
They didn't foreshadow almost anything.
Let me tell you. Did you get Spider-Man game vibes in the lab?
Slightly.
I got, dude. It hit me. It hit me immediately. I was like, bro, why I feel like I'm in Doc Ock's lab right now with these 3 cats. Like I was just waiting for like PS5 Spider-Man, PS5 Spider-Man, the one whose face doesn't call the graphics to melt down.
That's exactly what's going to happen to Tom Holland. His face is going to translate to the next trilogy.
No, he didn't. No, yeah, he didn't. That was Tom Holland did. That was that's Tobey Maguire. Tobey Maguire is a PS4 Spider-Man now, bro. He like I don't compute with HD. You can't do it with HDR and 4K, bro. Like you can. He
like Garfield is the PS4 version.
Yeah, Garfield is PS4. No, but in looks. But fucking Toby is in actual practice. He like, bro, I can't. I'm not gonna be able to upgrade, bro. I can't do these new graphics.
No,
Like,
nah, man.
yeah, man. Toby was like, "Nah, bro, it's not.
Yeah,
It's not
but it was so
happening."
great seeing him in the costume though.
Yes, finally getting
100%.
the reveal, showing them all in the costume, watching them all kind of do their thing, man. The one thing that I picked up on the second time was just the coordination between them, even before they actually started doing the team up thing. When you watch them kind of swinging through the air, kind of coordinating around each other, it's like, man, this is it. Like this is live action Into the Spider-Verse. Like, it was so good, man. It was so good.
These things are able to get broken down and put on YouTube for people to just go watch. I see millions of views on this within days.
Without question, man. It was just
amazing.
brilliant. It was brilliant, man. And that fight again, and even the way that the fight was handled, because initially when you hear that all these villains are gonna be in there, you're like, okay, even if we get 3 Spider-Man, is that gonna be enough to deal with like all 5 of these cats? But the way that they worked it out was so perfect, because they kind of diffused or took Doc Ock off the board before the main fight, because they were able to cure him. So, and then he comes back as kind of a wild card later on to help out, which I thought was dope. Flint Marko was kind of a wild card, because he was still on the fence. I thought that was cool. And so really you were like, okay, well now it's down to Electro and Goblin being like, and then Lizard. But it was those two kind of that you had to deal with, which I thought was brilliant. I will say this, and it didn't bother me as much, but I felt like Lizard kind of got played a little bit in that main fight, because you didn't get to see a lot of that, but you did get resolution with him and Andrew Garfield once he kind of cured him. You got that the same as you did with Doc Ock and Tobey Maguire, which that right there, oh, he said trying to do better. I was like, boy, this movie just don't stop. They don't stop, man. Like the callbacks were incredible, and they fit. Yeah. It was none of it was over the head. Like you felt like even the one that got me was the whole back conversation between Andrew and Toby when he started talking about the back injury, and I just got to thinking back to my back. And I'm like, man.
That was perfect too. That was all the comeback lines that they brought from the other movies.
Yes,
was perfect. They even gave my man Green Goblin the moment to be like, something of a scientist myself.
Yes,
they didn't voice over that. Like he said exactly.
It was
so that was the one for me right there too, man.
Yeah, it was super cool, man. But then, dog, that MJ falling scene.
Oh yeah. I ain't even gonna front. They kind of got me.
That's the second time he got me. Because the first time he got me was when they were on the roof and he talked about dropping Gwen.
Right.
And that, like, Andrew, maybe it just took you a while to mature and kind of understand, but boy, if you'd have had that in the first 2 movies you did as Spider-Man, it might have turned out a whole lot different for you, dog.
I don't blame him, to be completely honest, because
that's fair.
Watching behind the scenes on the first and the second one on that movie, it's really just the way that they were trying to make that character come across. So
yeah, I can see that.
I don't think he was able to fire on all cylinders like he wanted to, and I think they was going to try to give him that opportunity in the third one, excuse me, but they never gave it to him. So
that's what's up. That's what's up. But yeah, man, that scene, man, when he grabbed MJ. And my man lands and he's like trying to hold it together his damn self. Even though, again, you kind of figured that because you put 2 and 2 together watching the trailer, you're like, okay, clearly she ain't going to fall. And if all of them are in here, it only makes sense for Andrew to be the one to catch her. But even with that being the case, like just watching it on screen and realizing this is not a drill. Like we are legitimately experiencing 3 generations of Spider-Man. 3 generations of Spider-Man on screen. Like, really just take that in, man. And this is something that I was like trying to stress to my wife, because we went to go see it the second time around. And, shockingly, she enjoyed this movie, but felt Shang-Chi's better.
What?
That's what I said. But everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I still love my baby.
That later. I'm gonna talk to her personally.
Hey,
hey,
bro, we went through it. We went through the paces, man. She said no for her money. But this is the thing, and I totally respect where she's coming from, though, because here's the thing. She hates the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man and series and barely remembers the Andrew Garfield. Like, for her, Tom Holland is Spider-Man. Like, that's her experience. So, as good as this movie was, I think you can't appreciate how good this movie was unless you are, like, intimately familiar with those first two movies or first two series. Because, and maybe that will be the thing that, I don't even think it will, but if there's anything that would keep this movie from getting respected as one of the best, if not the best MCU movie we've gotten so far, it will be because there's not enough of us who have that appreciation. But I don't even think that's the case, because if it wasn't, or if that were the case, people wouldn't be popping over the fact that all three of them dudes was in the movie like they were.
Yeah, I would say that there is an authority among the fans and among the creators and the people who even pushed first and second Spider-Man, Sam Raimi. Like, Spider-Man becoming a movie,
right,
was epic in itself when it happened. Like, it's never been done, and it was done so perfectly.
Tell it.
Twice.
Tell it.
So
I don't know about twice in Spider-Man 1 and 2. Okay.
1 and 2. Right. That's all. That's all I'm talking about.
Cool.
So we can now say, you know, for this last one, having all three of them, and I believe that they also closed arcs. You know what I'm saying? They closed the arc at the same time. They closed the Andrew arc at the same time. And redo. They can come back. They can do whatever they want with that. You know what I'm saying? So this is a complete tie-in from over 2 decades worth of work.
Yes.
2 decades. So I don't see how, like, I mean, maybe not the best picture, maybe not the best movie, whatever, but whatever standards that they do that when it comes to giving out them awards. But this is the best of something and deserves to be nominated.
Oh, without question. Without question.
Talk with him because he's all about all the movies.
Yeah, but the thing that you have to think about, and this is where I feel like our fanboyism has spoiled us to a degree. Not maybe you and me, but just like in general, is because these things are becoming less and less of a precedent, because we're starting to see this more and more. Like, just think about, you know, what we got with Infinity War and like leading up to Infinity War, and then you get that movie, and then you backdoor that with Endgame. And the reveals and the callbacks that you got in those two movies. So now that doesn't have as much of an impact regardless of where you see it. Like, if in the Justice League movie, or whether it's, you know, when Flashpoint drops, will Michael Keaton Batman have the same impact as, you know, seeing Cap pick up Mjolnir? You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's not, and it's no knock on either one. It's just that once something happens first, anything after that, unless it's like, oh, well, that's the best I've seen since, which is the case for Spider-Man. Like, this is the best, you know, mashup or that you've seen at least since Endgame. And for my money, I feel like this movie's better than Endgame, because Endgame had a direct plot to tie up. Endgame had a movie that had a conclusion, and they had to come up with a resolution for that conclusion. Like, they had to tell you how that played out. This movie took 3 separate, like, this movie did, here's the thing. This movie did what the sequel trilogy in Star Wars couldn't do.
Ooh.
It did what it couldn't do. It took 2 different trilogies and said, now I'm going to give you a conclusion, not just for this trilogy, but for the other ones that came before it. Like, we gonna tie all of this up so that you don't have to have any question about what happened with any of these trilogies and why it doesn't make sense. Because the thing is, even if there's stuff in the Andrew Garfield or the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man trilogy that you didn't approve of, or that you question why they did that, you now have this trilogy to say, because he needed that to happen in order for him to be the Peter Parker that was necessary to impart to Tom Holland's Peter Parker. Because had anything changed, then you wouldn't have been dealing with these two versions of Peter Parker. And yeah, I am on my Star Wars tonight because that's how Kathleen Kennedy, Disney Lucasfilm, that's how you wrap a trilogy up, mother.
A trilogy of trilogies.
That's how you do that. That's how you do that. You close it up.
Well. Right, and they did it so well that we even given Andrew Garfield credit for a third movie that never happened.
Exactly. He gets counted as a trilogy now.
Now he gets counted as a trilogy.
He's counted as a trilogy. You know what his third movie is? This movie.
What's that? Right.
This is his third movie.
Right.
Exactly. Exactly. That's
Exactly.
what I'm saying, man. And we giving the Raimi trilogy credit for being a trilogy now because for the longest time we wanted to act like Spider-Man 3 didn't exist. Now even that movie has a reason to exist.
Right, it has to now.
Exactly. You see what I'm saying? You see how beautiful this is? You see how beautiful this turned out, man?
Yeah, I need to get Blip back out like Tom Hardy's Venom to the other verse that.
Oh man, don't remind me. See, look, I was gonna hit the epic climax, and then you start talking about Hardy.
Oh, man.
But let's go and talk about Goblin, Mayne, at the end of this movie.
Man. Goblin pulled it all back together, man.
Put some respect on William Dafoe's name. The only thing that disappoints me about this movie is the possibility of not getting to see him reprise his role as Goblin or Norman Osborn because damn.
Yeah, he did an awesome job, man.
Damn.
Yes, he did. I can't take it, can't knock it. It's gonna be kind of hard to top it. But
Yeah.
I'm not disappointed. I thought there was a good close to him.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
That they ended Toby's verse with now he's getting he gets his Norman Osborn,
Mhm.
he gets Otto Octavius, both back alive and both not crazy.
Right.
And Otto gets what he wants, minus the arc reactor. He actually gets to see that it can happen.
Yes.
But he gets his sanity back. He gets to keep the arms and can do the work now. And he gets Norman Osborn. And you can just keep coming up with stories now for that verse. So I thought it was a great end for Green Goblin. Period.
Yes. I thought it was perfect watching that final battle, watching Peter not hold back, damn near killed him. And of course it had to be Toby to come in and stop it, which again, not just something to complete the arc for Tom Holland, but I bet you Toby wishes he could have stopped that shield or that glider the first time.
I'm trying to tell you.
And for him to, man, y'all just don't know, man. Like the way that they, like everything in this movie came full circle, and it was so beautiful to see on screen as a Spider-Man fan. Like low-key, Spider-Man is my favorite MCU character. Like I grew up on Spider-Man, like loved that cartoon. I've watched the Spider-Man animated series at least 5 times start to finish.
Oh yeah.
In the middle of watching it again right now. It is that dope to me. And it was like, this was all of those episodes mashed up into a 2.5 hour love letter, bro. Like they did this perfectly. I see you in the building, Ryan. What's good, man?
Hey,
what's good, man? But that's it was. I thought that the ending was incredible. I thought it was perfect. And then once we Goblin is redeemed and that whole piece, then you get Strange and I can't hold it together. It's all falling apart.
Right.
And Peter has to make the only decision that he can make, which I really wanted to get into this because a couple weeks ago, or was it last week, we talked about this because we kind of got, the streets was talking and that was leaked that essentially at the end of the movie, the conclusion would be that the spell would go through and everybody would forget who Peter Parker was. And I was like, if they do that, that's going to be whack. I'm going to tell you why it wasn't whack. And this is the moral of the story, people. Leaks don't have context.
Nope.
And until you see it in context, you can't judge it. Because I was all anti this ending. I wanted them to do something different. I wanted them to give me some kind of a cliffhanger with Spider-Man and another multiverse or something. Nah, man, you don't need all that. This was perfect. because it wasn't just okay, let's tidy up. There were stakes involved. Like, this had to be done, and it was a decision that Peter Parker had to make and could only make after having gone through everything that had just transpired in this movie. You had to arrive at that moment. Peter had to arrive at that moment. And as the audience and as Peter, you were sitting there going, this is the way. This is it. This is the only way we can do this. And understanding what it means and what the implications are. And then, damn, you can't argue with that.
No. I knew they were going to do at least that part right at the context. You know why? Because after my man Toby stopped that glider, they stabbed his ass.
Boy.
Yes.
No.
I was like, kill him. But they didn't kill him.
I screamed loud as hell the first time. I mean, it was quiet and you heard gasp, but I was like, no!
I was like, I do it. Take him out. Take him down.
I'd have burnt the theater down, bro. You can't give me that beautiful clothes and then say, nah, we finna take him out.
That was the icing on the cake. Somebody had to get stabbed, and it had to be one of the Spider-Man.
Hey, stab him all day. Hey man, phone check him all day. Just don't punch his clock, bro. It's not time. It's not time.
Like, I've experienced being stabbed.
Right. I was like, oh, thank God. Oh man. But yeah, man. But again, even that goes to show you, it was like they still weren't done like putting you through the ringer in this movie.
That was he had to do it to you, man.
No, they you know what? And I was just like, y'all ain't shit. But you know what? I'll allow it. I'll allow it.
That was it for me. I was like, this okay. That was that made it the perfect movie for me.
Yeah, I feel you.
They had to stab or kill Toby because I called that. I said they're gonna do something to my man Toby. And that was the release that I
and hey, I'm totally cool with the way that it played out. I haven't seen it now. But for a minute, boy, I was sweating bullets. I was like, if they do this to my guy, please do not. But yeah, man, it was such a great movie overall, man. Such a fun time. Just up and down, start to finish. I thought
and that suit. Oh, he ain't getting off the hook.
Oh no, we getting there. I was just gonna I was about to go into the last scene where he walks in and you thinking he's gonna go tell MJ what's up. He sees the Band-Aid and my man's like, nah, I can't do it. Like he realizes at that point, again, this comes great responsibility. And it happens, and that was the point for me after watching the movie the first time. That was the point when I realized what the purpose of these three movies were, in the sense that we were, waiting for, or we were like, damn, Spider-Man just came in and started doing his thing, and we don't really understand his origin in this. Like, we know kind of the origin of Spider-Man, but in the sense of him and his place in the MCU, that kind of got upended with Tony getting killed or sacrificing himself. So then it's like, well, damn, like, is that it? Is that it was kind of shaky. But what you realize is these whole, like, all three of these movies is his origin story.
Yeah.
Like, this is what they basically did was said, damn that. We're gonna skip the actual basic explanation of how Spider-Man came to be, and we're gonna give you Spider-Man, but explain to you how he becomes Spider-Man. Right.
That's what matters.
That's what matters. How do you become Spider-Man? And that's the thing where, it was a brilliant move, hindsight being 2020, because when you look back, you didn't have to worry about getting through that to get people up to speed with the movie. Whereas with the original Sam Raimi trilogy, you're like, okay, we got to give this explanation. How do we want to do it? Then same thing with Andrew Garfield's movies. Just like, okay, how are we going to do the introduction where they just said, you know what, screw it. We just won't even, like, we know what happened with this dude. We can just mention it in passing. But it was more important, apparently, for Amy Pascal and White Suge to give Spider-Man a proper development arc.
Yeah. We're out of origins, man. We don't need complete start, not for
No,
Spider-Man.
no, absolutely not.
Spider-Man, Batman,
Batman, right? We don't need that.
No, we don't need another. If they reboot Superman, we don't need another origin for Superman. Give us Superman, like all of that. All of them don't need it. So they did the perfect thing for me when I saw that they started off the high school, John, and he was already Spider-Man, and
Right.
they brought him in with Tony Stark. Like that was perfect. That was perfect. You already say that he's Spider-Man. You show him how he's doing it. You upgrade him, boom, and then you keep on going from there.
Yeah,
that's the way to do it.
Yeah,
So-
no doubt, no doubt. And I saw Ryan ask the question about who thinks it's GOAT status. In the realm of Spider-Man, this is by far, in a way, in terms of live action. I didn't think it would be possible for us to top Into the Spider-Verse this quickly. You know, I get that movie's 2-3 years old now, but I still didn't think we would see a better Spider-Man movie than that this soon. This movie blows that out of the water.
Oh yeah,
it blows that out of the water. And the thing that's so crazy about this movie is that this movie has now set up. Oh no, absolutely not, Ryan. I'm not counting out animation because we still get this. Across the Spider-Verse might come out and backhand the hell out of this movie. That's the crazy part. It's like we still might not have even seen the best that Spider-Man has to offer yet. That's the crazy part. But what I think is so amazing, or the cool thing for me, is not only did we get a kind of a clean slate for Spider-Man going forward, which, you know, some people are cool with that. Some people are like, man, whatever. But we're at a place right now, you could do 3 different Spider-Man movies right now with 3 different Spider-Man, because all 3 of them now can go back and either do something in their own universe or end up coming back to the MCU later down the line for something. And you already saw in the credits the picture of the wormhole. So that means Peter's already experimenting on how he might be able to travel throughout the multiverse. They already planting that seed for us. So if you don't think that they're going to go full on live action Spider-Verse, they might even go Spider Wars like they did in the animated series, because you now have precedent for that, because you've got already 3 well-established Spider-Men that you can bring in, and people wouldn't have to be like, oh, well, now I got to get up to speed on who all of these other Spider-Men are. No, you don't, because now you've got 3 to anchor the movie, like, easily. And that's the thing that was so incredible to me, was that there's so many different directions you can go with this movie now, or with this series.
Yep.
I know what I would prefer them to do again, and that's, I want another trilogy with Tom Holland. Like, I got to get that now.
Yeah,
I really do.
Let us have it.
But if you want to go do an Andrew Garfield, if you want to go do a Tobey Maguire, if you want to go do both of them and do kind of like a buddy cop thing where you got the old Spider-Man, Lethal Weapon, I'm too old for this shit, Spider-Man. Like, whatever you want to do, like, you could, it's on the table now. Like, Sony played it right, and the MCU, you know, White Suge does it again, man. He does it again.
Yes, sir. And I'm right there with you, Lawrence. That, yes, they totally and should do and set it up for a Spider-Man Daredevil versus Kingpin movie.
Yes.
I do. And I like the way that they brought in Kingpin into Hawkeye, because that shows that he's established. That shows he's already handling gangs.
Yeah.
And that shows he's doing it the right way, being Kingpin. Like there's some the upper levels know who he is, but not for real. And they don't even call him Kingpin. He's just the guy you don't mess with.
Right.
And we need a boss on that level, because I'm tired of seeing a Daredevil that can take down a Kingpin. And I'm tired of seeing a Spider-Man, even if it is in games, that can just go up against Kingpin and take him down the first time. He needs to be a big enough crime boss that it takes at least them 2 to take him down. And then we get a whole little movie there with Spider-Man and my man Daredevil and taking him down. That would be hot. Maybe we might even get Spider-Man on a Disney Plus Hulu episode.
Hey, I'm with it. I'm with it, man. Like, that, it's so many possibilities. There's so many things that they could do, and none of it would be bad. That's the crazy part. It's like, you look at all the stuff that's on the table, and it's like any direction they go now would be a dope direction.
Yes. Like Black Cat. They need to go in the Black Cat direction.
I'm with that. I'm with that.
Black Cat, MJ triangle.
I'm with that. It's so much that you could do, man. And it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know, but it, let's touch on it real quick. Let's talk about that new suit, man.
Oh my goodness, man. That was Spider-Man game. Now that was Spider-Man game down to me. And
yes.
I love how they did that and made it all extra shiny. And how they teased you. They didn't even let you get like full view of it, full frontal view of it. You get glimpses as he passes the light at night and in the sky. It's like, give me more.
Yes.
That's the part for me that made me feel a little bit like you, where it's got to be Tom. Continue the story.
Yes.
And the first scene need to be my man in the suit.
That part.
That's what I want to see, and I hope we get that on the game too. We need to get that suit.
Yes.
Content.
Yes. I need that DLC, please. They got the other two on there already. I need that one.
Yeah.
I need that. There is one that's on there that's similar to it, but I want that one.
Yeah.
I want that joint. But yeah, man, that movie, man, I had high expectations. It did not disappoint. I don't have any major gripes about this movie, man. Like I was really sitting there kind of thinking about it. And it was like, even initially I wanted to say like maybe that the beginning was a little bit slow, but I don't even think that was the case because everything that they set up at the beginning of the movie, the only reason it felt slow was because 90% of that we saw in the trailer. But it was like when you actually watch, like everything in this movie just flows so nicely. Yes. It's like everything that they put forward in this movie for a movie that has so much going on too. That's the crazy part. It's like all the talk about, oh, well, there's too many villains in a Spider-Man movie. And that was the reason that Spider-Man 3 didn't work out. And all of this other bullshit. It's like, nah, man, you just got to have a clear vision and you got to be able to execute. Star Wars.
You gotta have a plan.
You gotta have a plan, Arthur. A plan.
A whole plan.
Like, yes. But I'm just saying, man, like I'm really hoping, man, like we right around the corner with Boba. I just hope we get that kind of foresight with Disney, Lucasfilm going forward, man. I'm not gonna keep on harping on it, but Spider-Man, they just showed y'all how to do it, man. They just did it. Man. They just did it.
Yes, they did.
They just did what you couldn't.
So he got done watching it for a second time.
Hey, that's what's up, man. Like I'm telling you, I'm curious to see what kind of records this movie breaks.
I mean,
I'm really curious.
Those pandemic records, I'm pretty sure it's broke. Those are broke.
Oh yeah, without question. But I'm trying to see. I want to see how close it creeps to like the big box office stuff.
It would be great.
I want to see because
$1.
I feel like this movie might have a long burnout. Like I think this movie's gonna go like this movie will stay hyped through the holiday next week and probably into the new year. Yeah, it's already 200 mil opening weekend, man. Like
they know movie out.
I ain't sniffing that. I'm sorry. Shang-Chi was dope, but it ain't doing that. It's
that's what I'm saying. How you figure this is?
Hey man, everybody is entitled. Everybody likes what they like, and like I said, I think it comes down to again, you having to have, and I'm not even saying you have to be a sweaty fan like that, but you have to have that knowledge of what happened in those first two series, in order to really get the impact of this movie.
Yeah,
like that's the thing, man. It's that's the thing for me. But yeah, man, I can't believe it's come and gone. I can't believe this whole year is come and gone. Number one, that we are already up here on Christmas coming up for those who celebrate, whatever holiday you have coming up. We coming up on the end of 2021.
Yes, and it's actually kind of explosive. Actually, so you got No Way Home. I'm most likely gonna wind up talking about The Witcher because that's already got me hooked. Then you're gonna get Matrix. Matrix is gonna be coming out.
Oh man, that's next week.
Yes. Then you're getting slapped in the face with Boba.
Right.
The conclusion of Hawkeye, and then you're starting off next year with Morbius. Like it's just gonna be crazy.
Yeah, man. Like we're in the end game now. Like now it's like Man, yeah, I still need to check out that season 2 of Witcher myself. But I'm definitely gonna get on it, man. But yeah, it's like we are at that point, man, and that's not even counting the games that's gonna be dropping.
Right.
Because we got that coming, man. It's gonna be so much good, lovely content.
Oh yeah, man. Watch. I'm gonna have to get me a PS5 really soon.
Oh yeah, man. I feel like there's one in your future. We've spoken on this. We've spoken on this.
Yeah, I know, but no.
Hey,
we'll talk
about. Look, first, yeah, we talk about that. But but yeah, man. Before we get into we ride out on this thing, man, because I don't want to talk Spider-Man into the ground.
No.
I was shitting on Star Wars as I normally do when I get in the mood to talk about the sequel trilogy, but my prequel trilogy fans might want to listen up a little bit. Got a little announcement to make. Seems as, scouring the interwebs as I do with my free time every now and then, I came across a beautiful little gem. What gem might that be?
Yes, what gem might that be?
A 4K HDR. Listen to me. Let me cut the Spider-Man music. 4K HDR, 4 hour and 19-minute supercut of Revenge of the Sith.
Yep.
You heard me. 4K HDR, 4 hours. Some of y'all might be like, how do you get 4 hours out of Revenge of the Sith? You include Clone Wars Season 7 and all of the Clone Wars animated events that lead right into episode 3. That's right. They actually cut the animated portions where you get to see Palpatine kidnapped, all that. And they give you the Ahsoka and Anakin scenes, as well as the siege of Mandalore, all wrapped up in Revenge of the Sith.
Well,
I can see the comments.
Yes, I see the comments as well, and I think where can the people come see this at Al? Where is it gonna be?
Here's what we gonna do. Merry Christmas, y'all. We doing a watch party. We're doing a watch party.
Yeah.
I started watching and I said, I cannot in good conscience enjoy this amazing piece of cinematic content without the Maynes and Lady Maynes in the building. So what we gonna do? We gonna start this bad boy Monday night. We gonna do part 1 Monday, part 2 Tuesday. We will nail down a time for y'all, but make sure you in that Discord on Monday evening, because I am going to stream and we are going to watch this in its entirety across 2 days.
Yes, sir.
Now,
check the event. I'll be popping the event in soon. Just calm down, people.
Now, we will definitely put an event in there, but here's what I need though, because Freddie likes to come through and give gifts. So we're not just gonna stop there. What if I told you, going into my Matrix, that I don't just have Revenge of the Sith? What if I told you I've got all 3 of the prequel trilogies in their supercut form?
What? He didn't even tell me that.
I always got to save a little something for a surprise, man. That's right. I've got episodes 1, 2, and 3, the supercut. And I've already watched, I will tell you, I watched episode 1. Oh my God. And not only that, but these also have any of the deleted scenes remastered and incorporated into the movie as well.
Just extra context.
Boy, when I tell you I hit the jackpot when I came across this little beauty. 27. Look, let me just tell you like this. For those of you, my techie people out there who know what's up, that Revenge of the Sith cut, 27 gigs.
Damn.
The one movie. So you know it's beautiful and you know it sound incredible. Ain't it though? Like it's a straight up whole video game, bro. Oh my God. And because I'm that guy, if you hang around the Discord Monday or Tuesday, I might just tell you where you can find it for yourself. I might just do that.
We might just do that.
I might just do that.
That's the type of guy he is.
Just because I'm like that.
He takes his Star Wars
very seriously. Man. So yes, that's right. We are definitely doing the Revenge of the Sith extended supercut watch party this week on the Mayne Authority Discord. Make sure you check in and get the time on that.
Yes, sir.
Because it is definitely going down. But you know what though, man? I feel like we can't, I know you're a Star Wars fan, man. I know you like Star Wars. But all that. We ain't talking about Star Wars now. We finna switch gears. Because before we get out of here, we told y'all we was working on some changes.
Yes, sir.
You know what else we've been working on, man? We've been out here in these streets. We've been hollering at businesses. We've been over here signing contracts. We've been doing the whole 9. And we got a whole nother list of fake ass sponsors.
Yep.
And you know what happens when the Mayne Authority comes across some fake ass sponsors?
We turn them into commercials.
We turn them into commercials, damn it.
Sir, man.
So I'm gonna need you to get a snack.
Yep.
I'm gonna need you to make sure you got, if you partake, roll yourself 1
or 2
or 2 or 5.
They getting along with it, man.
You getting them all. We finna get not every last one, but we got 7 minutes worth of new
and 4 new
commercials
and improved.
So you best turn your volume up. You best get ready. Make sure you got snacks. Make sure you got napkins in case you spit your drink out.
Roll up. Yes.
And roll up indeed.
Yes.
And what we gonna do is we gonna roll these commercials and then we gonna roll right into the credits, man. And we gonna get out of here. So in about, I say about 8 minutes, eight minutes to be safe. You ain't gotta go home. But you got to get the hell up out of here in 8 minutes. In 8 minutes.
In 8 minutes.
Oh, man. Spider-Man. Incredible. Can't believe it. Wonderful stuff.
Everything. All day. Every day.
Now,
Spider-Man.
I would normally hit you with the next episode, but we ain't ready yet. Let me just do this real quick. I need some purple somethings in the chat if you're ready for some commercials, please.
Yes, sir.
Please.
Purple hearts.
Let me know.
Let me know if you
understand.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. I can't wait.
Yeah, I can't wait. What's he
saying? Oh, man. Yeah, it's
stuff.
Yeah,
man.
there they go.
There you go.
That is. There we go. Roll them in there then. Yep. There's that purple. There's that purple.
It goes.
Well, I suppose we'll kill this music and we'll give the people what they desire. What say you, homie?
I say, let them enjoy it.
Enjoy they shall. Holla at your boys. We gonna ride out.
Oh yeah, your boy got fresh, about to turn up. Swaggy. About to bust out this dope, but first, I gotta go downstairs and get me some of that Lavish Mayne purple drink. Oh yeah, turn up. Yeah, you grab my keys and then I'm about to turn up. What it do, neighborhood? There you go.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute, we out of sauce. Man, this ain't no sauce.
Yeah, what's the difference?
Oh, well, you dusty bastard. Our sauce is made with the best ingredients this side of the Mississippi. If you're gonna give me something, it's gotta be the sauce.
This made in New York City?
If you ain't got the
sauce,
sauce,
That's your loss.
here's the sauce made with the best you ever seen in your life. If you ain't got the sauce, then motherfucker, that's your loss.
Move! Get out the way! Gotta get down here, tell these boys about the main authority. They act like they don't know about nothing. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, gotta see the boys out. Gotta see Lavis. Gotta see him on the main authority. But you don't know about the main authority. Watch out. Move out the way. Yeah, you boys right here. Y'all know about the main authority whip skills. Skirt. Watch out. You know what? When I know about the main authority, see your car? Your car. Your car. No. Why we pull up right here? You don't know about the main authority? They got all this great content right up in here. Yeah, right. Pay attention. Pay attention. What's what I'm saying, boy? You know what I'm saying? Try to tell you. Gotta put you on game. Gotta put you all up with that sauce. And what the hell? Yo, look at that. All you people right here about to learn today about the main authority. They all up in here. You know what I'm saying? The boys, they're quite the humanitarians. I revere myself, but still, at the same time, what you gonna do? You ain't know what it is, what it was, what it does. You gotta get the purple drink, you gotta get the sauce, you gotta get your life together with the commercials. You know what I'm saying, boy? Check out the content. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Subscribe.
Burn the beat, what? Oh, we got watermelon for the
Nothing
black
unites
barbecue.
family like a good bottle of sauce to go with your great summer barbecue.
Who made potato salad?
Al's sauce has been known to bring people of all colors and creeds together in the spirit of barbecue.
Oh, man, that's too much sauce. Never. Shut up, motherfucker.
Bring it over for a good time, whether you're black, white, it doesn't matter.
Hey, that chicken ain't done, man.
Time to be.
If you ain't got the sauce, then that's your
Oh,
loss.
man. I'm an old motherfucker.
March! Left, 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 left. What's his loose?
Bang Patrol! Don't you know
That's the sound of the Maynes working on the chain. JS. Don't you know that's the sound of the change working from the main game.
Let me say it.
Turn up. Get crunk. That's the sound of the Maynes working on the chain. JS. That's the sound of the change working from the main game.
Did you hear me say it?
No. Turn up. Get crunk. That's the sound of the Maynes working on the chain. JS. That's the sound of the change working from the main game.
Did you hear me say it?
Keep it right there, Jeff.
Turn up.
Sweet. Six coming.
Thursday, my.
Get off my book, boy.
Working so hard, see my woman,
With a
who I
sauce.
love so didn't mean wow. Got to stay right here.
Main
Give me
gang.
Oh, slow. Oh, don't you know that's the sound.
Greetings, humans. Once again it is I, Optimal Pride. As before, we are here to tell you that we support the main authority. As that still stands, we've celebrated with our friends. Past spliffs between others. We are looked up to by our peers, and even I give my right arm for the main authority. Flying high, never low. Always hitting you with the sauce and the flow. Look out, YouTube. We are here. We are the authority.
Remember, Maynes, go get that bag. Autobots, let's roll up.
Oh, shit, it feels good to get out of here. Time to change in this bitch. Oh, where's my rag? Oh, yeah.
What in the hobgoblin dasher is? Let's get the hell up out of here.
Oh, damn it. Pull my tool out in case somebody hates and try to jack me. The f y'all looking at? Respect my damn gangsta.
Yeah, whatever, man. You tripping.
Oh, this damn Gucci rag's too hot.
Welcome back. We out here getting jiggy with it.
Back to the projects. Shut up and get over here. Let me sprinkle this Reggie dust on you. Help you grow. What the f is he want?
Ouch! Coming to Septimane. The Maynes have a new video out, and it's got 100 subs.
Oh, shut the f up, motherfucker. I asked you to downvote the video. Don't just tell me that they've got a new video out.
My bad.
Hey, yo, Soundman reporting, cuz. This bird from Compton got news for you, Lord Deceptimane.
What the hell do you got to tell me today?
Hey, yo, the facts is just like this here, player. They're on their way to getting 1,000 subs, cuz. What we gonna do?
Ain't this a bitch? How many times am I gonna tell you? We've got to stop their viewers. How many more subs are you gonna let these Maynes get? Maynes, we're coming for you.
The Force will be with you, always.
Hey man, y'all sure y'all don't want to like burn one first, man?
Why did you say that name?
You hear about the cable?
What is thy bidding, my master? Asgard.
Forever, forever, ever. Forever, forever, ever.
This is the way. This is the way.
Why did you say that name?
This is the way.
Come on, man.
I am a god.
Hey man, y'all sure y'all don't want to like burn one first, man? Come on, man. On with you, man. On with you, man.
Asgard. Be careful what you wish for, Parker.